Italian tanks are finally here with spaghetti and meat sauce. With upcoming patch 1.0.1 we are going to receive 11 Italian vehicles. We already have one Italian premium tank in this game, Progetto M40 Mod 46, but with this upcoming patch we are going to receive 11 new Italian vehicles and the first medium tank tech tree line under the Italian nation. Why 11 vehicles? Because in tier 2 we have two different vehicles. We have one light tank and one medium tank. In total, this Italian medium tank line consists of two light tanks, tier 1 and tier 2, and all the rest of the tanks are medium tanks. And in this episode I am going to take my first a little bit deeper look into tier 10 Progetto M40 Mod 65. Let's take a look if this line is worth grinding. Let's see what is the main reward on the top of the tech tree. Progetto M40 Mod 65 features that the new auto reloading gun that can carry 4 shells in the drum. So while you are enjoying some gameplay action on the background, let me talk to you about this vehicle a little bit. Let's take a look at specs, let's talk about how it felt on the battlefield and what I think about this vehicle overall, because it is kinda special with that new auto loading gun. So without further ado, let's jump right into the action. And for the start, let's quickly go over some specs with my equipment, with my loadout and with my crew members. I am using Brothers in Arms and fairly standard crew skills like 6th Sense, Situational Awareness to boost my view range, recon skill as well. On my driver I am using clutch braking and off-road driving to boost my traverse speed, tank traverse speed, which is already super amazing, and off-road driving is just better terrain resistance numbers on soft terrain, on rough terrain, and so on. My equipment loadout is as followed: a vertical stabilizer Mark 1, medium caliber tank on rammer, and coated optics just to boost my view range as much as possible, and I am using food just to boost my DPM as much as possible, just to stay competitive in full tier 10 battles. And in my opinion it really needs, this vehicle is one of those vehicles that really needs extra help from premium food. So this is why I am doing that. So firepower stats with this loadout is as followed: average damage per one shot 360, average penetration 268. And now reload times. First shell when your drum is completely empty takes 13 seconds to reload. Second shell, 11 seconds, third shell, 10 seconds. And when you have 3 shells already in your magazine or in your drum, final shell takes 8 seconds to reload. So you roughly have 8-second reload time for 360 alpha damage. Right off the bat, we can say that this is not the best DPM, and your DPM is far under 3000 with this kind of loadout and with this kind of setup. On almost any other tier 10 medium tank, you can easily boost it over 3000, but not over here. Anyway, let's move on. Turret traverse speed 40.1 degrees per second is really nice as well. Gun depression is really good, -9 degrees, and gun elevation 20 degrees. Reload time for the full magazine equals 42.01 seconds. Reload time between every single shot 2.75 seconds, and as I already said, this tank has 4 shells in the magazine or in this gun system. Aiming time, I can simply say it is not bad, but it is not super awesome either. 2.06 seconds, accuracy 0.31, and average DPM, average damage per minute, 2673. And you get this DPM when you fire your shots one by one, 360 alpha damage with 8-second reload. But as I like to say, this vehicle and all those new auto reloading gun systems, they have that finishing punch that all the rest of the medium tanks do not have. You can dish out 1440 damage in 8.25 seconds after you fire your first shot. If you trade shots one by one, for example, with any other medium tank or any other heavy tank and so on, and if they are around 1300 HP, you can finish them off. That you cannot do in any other medium tank that do not have an auto-loading gun with full clip. So you have that finishing punch, and you must use it as much as possible. You have to use it as much as possible. Otherwise, in full tier 10 battles, I can say that this DPM is nothing special, and if you have to empty your clip, or if you are thinking about emptying your clip in every single battle, in every single situation, all the time, then this is not the best way to play this tank. Most definitely not. You are not going to be like that awesome damage, or you are not able to show that sustainable damage. You have to play this vehicle as a support chase tank that can finish off targets really, really well. You do not want to go into 1v1 fight versus any other tier 10 medium tank in this game. And you do not want to empty your clip, especially when they rush towards you. You would like to take those shots even when they rushed in. You would like to take your shots one by one, and when they are at around 1400-ish HP, then you can empty your clip and then you can kill 10, because if you fire more than 2 shots, you do not even have that 2673 average damage per minute anymore, because it takes a lot longer to load in 2 shells. You have to wait for the second shell to load in, and after that you have to wait for the final shell to load in once again. So just if someone rushes towards you, if you are in 1v1 fight, try to work them down to around 1400-ish HP, and after that finish them off. But you have to fire your shots one by one beforehand, so keep that in mind. It is a tricky vehicle, but if played correctly, you can get some really awesome games and really great scores. It is, once again, firepower. The best feature about this firepower is that surprise finishing punch and finishing off targets. You are really nice tank to pick up kills, or the low HP kills. Kill stealing tank, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Survivability. Hit points 1900 hit points, hull armor 50, 40 and 25. On paper it doesn't have any armor whatsoever, but thanks to that epic duck-like slope in the front, I believe this is the best way to describe this slope, or how this vehicle looks, or how the hull looks. Thanks to that slope on ridge lines, I have bounced some shots, but once again, rule of thumb is that almost anything and everything that is able to see you on the battlefield is able to penetrate you, so do not count on your armor, count on your mobility, your vehicle traverse speed and reverse speed. This is what can save you in those battles. Same goes to the turret, 120 in the front, 40 on the sides and 30 in the rear. I have no problems whatsoever penetrating other Progetto 65s with my Progetto 65, even with 105mm boomstick and 268mm of penetration. So this is why I can say it so easily. Your survivability is nothing special, just do not count on your armor, count on your mobility. And next up, let's talk about mobility. This vehicle is 40.3 tons heavy tank with 750 horsepower engine. Now, I don't know why, but maybe because it is just such a big vehicle for a medium tank. On the battlefield, it doesn't actually feel that fast. I don't know, it is weird. It is weird to describe it, because power to weight ratio is really awesome actually, under 20, but still 18.61 horsepower per ton is really awesome. Top speed 65 kilometers per hour, reverse speed 23. That 23 reverse speed comes in handy in many situations, but vehicle traverse speed is simply crazy. 65.52 with my equipment and loadout, and I'm boosting it with Brothers in Arms, with food, off-road driving and with clutch braking. But even without all those boosts, that traverse speed is amazing. You are going to feel it. At first it was actually quite hard to control this vehicle, to side scrape with this vehicle, because of your vehicle or hull traverse speed. You were always over angling, so watch out for that if you get this vehicle and if you play with this tank. That super awesome traverse speed can be, at first at least, can be quite hard to get used to. And overall mobility is really awesome, despite me thinking that it is not so fast when I actually see this tank on the battlefield. But I have to say, overall mobility is still really awesome. Now, concealment for a tier 10 vehicle that is so big is not half bad. I am using exterior camo, I am using camo on 2 or maybe 3 of my crew members as well, and my camo is 25.73 while stationary and 20.09 while I'm moving. Of course, when you take the shot, when you fire, you lose all your camo anyway, but still 25 for this kind of vehicle is not bad, and I can stay hidden, I can do some spotting, because spotting, my view range is almost 500 meters, 479 meters, stock view range is 400 meters, so quite easily boostable up to 500. A couple crew skills, brothers in arms, food and coated optics. Fairly standard view range boosting equipment over here. But if you would like to play this vehicle without food, for example, your view range is going to be 473 anyway, with couple crew skills and coated optics. So it is just up to you. But in my opinion, you need that food simply for that DPM, because DPM difference is going to be from 2673 down to quickly 2560. And once again, coming back to the TPM, coming back to that firepower, yeah, it is not super impressive, really. It is nothing impressive. How I am going to play this tank for now, at least until I find any better solutions, is I play this tank as a single shot vehicle, but when I see a killing opportunity, when I see an opportunity to take out really dangerous gun on the enemy side, or when I see an opportunity to double track somebody, I am going to fire more than just one shot. In any standard situation, I would say that firing second shot is going to be emergency only. Emergency situations only. You fire more than one shot. Unless you see a killing opportunity, or unless you have worked somebody down firing at him one by one, and once again we come back to the killing opportunity, then you can rush in and you can take out one gun from the enemy team, because your full clip reload time otherwise over 40 seconds is once again really bad. Simply comparing this tank to DVP T5051, in my opinion DVP is better in almost at everything. Better at emptying its full clip. 4 shells in the magazine, yes, penetration is not as good, average damage is not as good, but you can empty your clip in 4.5 seconds. But this vehicle takes 8.25 seconds to fully empty its clip. So DVP is long gone when you have to fire your final 2 shots. For example, if you fight versus DVP. DVP's reload time, full clip reload time, 23.97 seconds. With 100% crew, without any boosters, without any equipment, skills and so on. So DVP, yeah, DVP is one real masterpiece, I have to say, when it comes to the auto-loading tanks. It is almost as good as auto-reloading gun. So yeah, it was tricky vehicle, but I have to say, if played correctly, if you played as a support-ish medium tank, you snipe a little bit, you move together with your teammates, you almost always have to look around if you have some team support, if you have allied tanks around you, especially if you are thinking about fully emptying your clip, because if any enemy tank sees you fully emptying your clip, they of course are going to rush in, because if your clip is empty, your reload time is roughly, let's say, 12 seconds for 360 alpha damage. It is not even scary, not even a little bit in tier 10 battles, for example. So you have to learn this vehicle, of course. You have to play it. How I am going to play it is I'm going to play it as a support role medium tank. And in my opinion, this is the best way to do it. You cannot be overly aggressive, as you sometimes can be with DVP T50. And yeah, I move on from there. But overall, I like that it is in the game. I like the playstyle. I like the new gun system. It brings something new, something fresh to World of Tanks. Overall opinion about this vehicle is still positive, but maybe maybe it can use a little bit of a tuning, maybe. What do you think? Let me know if you have tried this vehicle out, if you have played with it. How did you enjoy it? Do you like it? Do you feel that it needs some more tuning? A little bit, maybe just a tiny pinch of tuning? Or are you happy with it? Or what do you think about this tank after watching this episode? Let me know in the comments down below. But this was my first preview about Progetto 65 mod, Progetto M40 Mod 65. And Progetto was the correct version. Thank you so much to every single guy in my previous episode who corrected me a little bit. And this vehicle, I believe, is pronounced the Prototypo. Standard P, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, I catch you next time with something else. Stay awesome, take care, and bye.